big baskets down the stretch today. Kind of, what are you noticing that's fueling, leading to these type of performances consistently over the last week?
Body of work all season long. I mean, I think I've said it recently. Like, sometimes it takes time to click with all the kind of chaos with the injuries and whatnot. But our guys are playing hard, and they've been having fun all season long. And when you kind of catch fire, and that's why I said the road trip, despite the Chicago, game, especially the second half, we were right there with Minnesota. We set a tone on that road trip, bounced back from the tough Chicago loss, had great wins in Toronto and Miami, and obviously to come back here and get a home win is great. So I think it's just a product of the work. Guys are coming in with the right mentality, right attitude. Guys are seizing the opportunities, and they're understanding. I know I'm a broken record. I would say, what's our standard? And we just actively talk about that. We actively work on that, and our guys putting the individual work has been really impressive. But the collective just focus on the day in and day out is what's allowed us to have this little stretch, and hopefully we continue pouring into that moving forward.
Does it impress you that, I guess, the way that you were able to win this game? Because I know the defense could have been better in the first half, but you kept pace with them in a track meet, so you found a different way to keep a lead throughout the game, despite whatever you thought you could have done better.
Yeah, I mean, y'all know you win games in a lot of different ways. Obviously, I kept challenging the guys in that first quarter. They had to take 2 timeouts. We got better in the second quarter, and then they outscored us in the third and the fourth. But I thought our execution of our game plan was better. But then our offense, 30 assists. I mean, this is what we continue to just drive home with our guys. Guys playing unique roles, but just how do we play together and how we're playing fast. I think our spacing's improving. The commitment to the work we've been doing on the court and in the film room has translated last couple of games, and then just the willingness to move the ball. When we're in the right spots and we move the ball and we touch the paint still, we can generate some really good offense. Knocking down threes helps, but we still got 50 points in the paint. And we're going to need to have that balance moving forward. But it's all built out defensive activity and then just offensive unselfishness.
So X and John, they made big defensive stops late in the game. X had that stop at the nail at the end of the third quarter. Then I think John had a few stops in transition and that weak side interception. Just what is it about their defensive activity that stands out to you in the way that they generate turnovers?
Those guys got so many intangibles. Their feel for the game, especially, there was that run where, I think both teams were in transition. We're missing a layup, missing a shot. They're just going right downhill, but, showing crowds and those guys stripping guys without fouling is impressive. It's kind of innate in those guys. I think, X is elite defensively. Jitty's been great, in on-ball defense, especially in pick and rolls and help side. And that, turnover on that skip pass was great execution defensively. It's exactly where we wanted the ball to go, away from Banchero, and they just sniff stuff out, So luckily they kind of do that, and we kind of let them do their thing. And I don't want to change their habits when it comes to making those impact plays.
If anyone needs this, now would be the time.
Taylor, you had 30 assists and 3 straight wins. How is that correlation to winning, and how can you move forward doing that?
Moving forward, it's just, continue to make that a priority. It's as simple as that. We know that's got to be a big part of our identity. And, we've had to work all season to kind of catch this wave of, a couple of games in a row. Just keep prioritizing the spacing, like I talked about, the willingness to see it on film, see it in the practices, see it within the game. That's what our guys got to continue to focus on. But, in terms of a correlation, we know what our identity is. It's our defensive activity that generates just that excitement, that momentum. And then we know when we play like that, and obviously you're getting the production as well, but when you're setting your teammates up, that's the excitement that we're used to playing with. So encouraged by the play the last couple of games, and these guys know I'm not going to stop, hitting them over the head with it.
Zaire has faced a lot of criticism this year. How do you think he's handled that, and what does a performance like tonight, what can that mean going forward?
Great response by Z. Proud of him. Obviously, there's been definitely ups and downs and recent struggles, but the guy keeps putting in the work, and no one gets to see that. And the care factor that he has, he understands that he's been struggling too. It's not that he's not aware. He understands, okay, what do I got to do about this? How do I impact winning? I talked to him about even the other night, he didn't make a bucket, but he had 6 rebounds. He was great in the defensive executions, the things that don't always show up in the box score. So we're just reminding him about that. Obviously, offensively, I thought he was just really decisive. 17 points, great. 3 threes, great, but he had 5 assists. The confidence in his playmaking. So just finding that consistency, because it's the work. He's got great care factor. He's just got to continue building on this, understanding what's that mentality every single game, and he's fully capable of it.
Coach, how were you able to out-rebound them being a smaller, shorter team than the Magic tonight?
I mean, luckily that was the one priority for 48 minutes our guys carried out. Obviously, we struggled with the paint. That was a big priority. Just physicality. I mean, guys, 5 guys working together. Obviously, there were some obvious misses, where they hurt us. But our guys, we're just emphasizing with our smalls, even offensively, how we're rebounding to create more opportunities for us. Defensively, it's just a continued work in progress, knowing that when we can move the needle, especially when we're playing some smaller lineups, we're going to bust our tail on the perimeter, and for 20 seconds when that shot goes up, man, if we're going to go out and play fast like we love to do, it's got to start with a rebound. So they've seen a lot of it. They've seen our assistant coaches talk to them about it, but it's just got to be something that's more of a habit every day. Great. Thanks, everybody.